people are negligent with this?
I think that it's such a large issue, I think, is what it is, and it's a web of issues. So that was something that Pringle brought up when he was speaking, that there are good things the ministry is doing. Certainly, it's not a giant weight that just falls on them. There are some major systemic issues that we're talking about, and it's systemic within the Ministry of Social Services as well as outside of it. So one of the major contributing factors is poverty. And in our province, over 70% of the kids in care of First Nation, and 2/3 of our First Nations children in Saskatchewan live in poverty. So, it is a lot of tackling those larger issues, but at the same time, there were systemic issues in the ministry. So you had, as you mentioned, the overworked employees, these large caseloads, and that really just, these policies that were good, not being followed.
We're in conversation with reporter Kelly Malone. She's been covering the most recent Children Advocates report.
Kelly, just to continue your thought there, Bob Pringle also alluded to that there is some racism involved here with these kids.
He did. So I thought it was a very profound and powerful quote he actually said. He said that we all care about children. He wasn't, disregarding that. But he said in Canada, there's evidence to prove that we don't care about children equally. So he was just kind of pointing to the fact that there's an overrepresentation of Aboriginal kids and First Nations, and that's something we really need to deal with, whether or not it's racism in our society that leads to Aboriginal children in poverty, or the racism actually within the system that makes it unlikely that, the ministry looks over looking at the extended family or the children's father in this particular scenario. So, is that racism within the system? That was something Bob Pringle alluded to.
Kelly, really quickly before we let you go, what were some of those recommendations that he came up with in the end that maybe are implementable?
Well, as you mentioned before, when it came to lewvan, he once again reiterated that he wanted to see licensing in foster care. That was something that later the ministry said they looked into. There wasn't evidence to prove it would be successful. But some of the other things was, as you mentioned, kind of an accountability. So certain measures being put into place that would increase accountability. And one of the ones I thought that, really stood out and will be done is he wanted an apology to this little boy's parents.
Kelly, thanks so much for your work on this story.
Thank you, Kelly.
Appreciate it.
The CJME Morning Show, Encore Edition, on News Talk 980, CJME. If you want a good book, we've got a book for you.
This month we're reading A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. It's a richly invented novel about a centuries-old vampire, a spellbound witch, and a mysterious manuscript that draws them together. Harkness actually comes from a non-fiction background and followed this novel up with 2 others.
Save your seat at CJME.com. It's the most wonderful time of the year when all of our family gathers together.
Tawagan mo kung mag-decide ka maghintay.
Good times, great
Ako
food.
maghihintay. Dahil ako paglabas ko gusto kong umalis na agad.
Tawagan mo si Leo sa silog. So 3 o'clock ka. Hindi na siguro puno ngayon ang mall.
Punta ako bukas sa mall.
Mas mabay sa akin.
Ang aga mo. Sabay akong pauwi. No.
Yeah. Tapos mag-date tayo.
3:15, oo. Kasama si Sander at saka si...
Ay, kasama mo si Sander?
Si Jem.
Sige, kaya tayo doon. Bukas. Pwede mamaya kung gusto mo.
Wala ba yan?
years of breakthrough innovation, the Regina Auger continues to deliver unparalleled performance, reliability, and versatility. From lowest to largest, revolutionized fuel trains with Korean manufacturing augers. World-class quality, long-living relationships. ReginaMFG.com. Your smile, first impression, make it a lasting one. Information and price that you will shop at your first location. They can help you find answers to your questions. From new ventures, marketing, or any plan, get your Regina on the local professionals you're looking for. Listen on their ventures, or online at lifestyle411.com. Start your one-on-one conversation with your specific needs. It's your choice of Regina, working with you to get your smile smiling again. Say your goodbye to the long in your life. Here's Saskdrive. Breathing is natural and necessary. And celebrating life, trading stories, sharing laughter too, is the first step in that healing process. Hold my favorite hole. Each footstep gives a heart space to heal. Every share are digital. Zero information services. Celebrating life, wellness, the healing begins here. It's the most wonderful time of the year when all of our family gathers together for a big feast. It's good time, great food. Well, here's against that, because we all know that it could be our last Christmas with that. It's hard to imagine we're not eating those foods, so nothing cool nights are there. We sleep a lot, which is fine, but once we wet themselves on our couches, that's a present we can do without. We all know that can happen to you as a whole, but it also happens to dogs. There's a medicine that helps people prevent this problem, and believe it or not, it's the same medicine that dogs need. The problem is, dogs don't like to take pills. Hill Avenue Drugs is a compounding pharmacy for people and pets, so they have lots of creative solutions. They can make medicine into dog treats. Old Rex will even sit up, beg, and roll over for one of these treats. Hill Avenue Drugs, free to remind themselves that Christmas is everywhere.
They have great tasting coffee while you wait, intelligent women behind the counter, and it doesn't even smell like chemicals.
Are we complaining about Universal Collision Center again?
What? No, I'm glad to love my I love Universal Collision Center. Great work, cleaner than boiled hand sanitizer. If only they did haircuts.
For your head, it'd be a wax and polish. Universal Collision Center, a better way to auto body. That's why in Rochdale, online, uccregina.com. We started helping offices work better when discs were still floppy. I'm Maura Montini.
And I'm Ken Wager, part of the team at Monte Office Products.
For 30 years now, we've professionally installed the office storage and furnishings to help you work smarter and more comfortably.
Never leaving a mess and always leaving you happy.
A lot has changed in the past 30 years.
But Avante's commitment to your business remains the same.
We're Monte Office Products, and we make your office work better.
1245 Osler, AvanteOffice.com. News is always happening, and we've got it covered for you.
Jihadi John Mohammed and Wazi was in a vehicle when it was dropped.
Ever since I was a kid, that's all I did was follow rosters and players.
I've been wanting to drop the hassle from my life for years.
We're plugged into the world so you don't miss a thing. News Talk 980, CJME. The CJME Morning Show, Encore Edition. News Talk 980, CJME.
On November 13th, there was a concert hall in Paris called the Bataclan that was attacked by terrorists. The band playing during that attack was called Eagles of Death Metal, and the band hasn't spoke to anyone except for Vice News. The interview came out last night. It's 26 minutes long. I cried through most of it. It makes it really real. Here's a couple minutes of that interview. This is the sound guy speaking.
Front option usually is positioned right in the middle of the dance floor. Yeah. But for this particular gig, I was at the very back of the venue, which they call front house, and at the very end, near the opening of where the doors were. And the show went well. These kids were having a blast. They were having a great time. Even the smile and the dance. Out of nowhere, I just heard these, what I thought was firecrackers directly behind me. And so they were shooting from behind me.
reports from the cleanup. Glenn and Deborah Lee King couldn't leave their neighbor's house in the darkness, but they knew something was wrong.
Pretty traumatic. We just came out to assess our own damages, and he's over there yelling for help.
We realized that he was running across the road with his baby.
The tornado had ripped the man's house in Cokeville, Texas, off of its foundation. Deborah Lee rushed the newborn baby to the hospital, while Glenn helped the man free his wife. She survived, but the baby did not. More than 43 people were killed in this storm over the past few days. CJME News Time 4:01. A heavy snowstorm is causing some travel headaches across the Maritimes as well. The first significant snowfall of the winter is expected to drop 20 centimeters, or almost 8 inches by the time it's over. Some flights in Halifax and St. John's have been delayed or canceled. It's a white-knuckle drive in some areas there. Thieves in Humboldt went with the Trailer Park Boys strategy to steal this ATM. 4 suspects smashed the glass door of the Bella Vista Inn and Bar with an axe, went inside and pulled the ATM out using their truck. The whole thing was caught on the security camera early yesterday morning. Police are now looking for the 4 and their black Dodge Ram. 2 men with masks and a gun robbed a convenience store in Regina. They got away with cash and cigarettes. Early yesterday morning, no one was hurt. The family of a Syrian boy whose lifeless body was photographed on a beach in Turkey has landed in Vancouver today. Alan Curry's aunt, uncle, and cousins have finally arrived as refugees after being rejected once. They're sponsored by relatives in Port Coquitlam, and the brother and sister plan to work together at a family hair salon. Some workers at the Best Western 7 Oaks Inn are flocking the picket line. Lobby and restaurant staff from United Food and Commercial Workers are off the job, but the hotel owner Glenn Weir tells us they aren't seeing much of an impact.
We're business as usual at the 7 Oaks here in its entirety.
The union's Norm Knoll admits not everyone is on side.
We believe we've got some people that have scabbed and decided to cross the picket line.
The contract issue revolves around wages and benefits. Team Canada have their first win at the World Juniors, beating Denmark 6-1 this afternoon. They take on Switzerland tomorrow at noon in another preliminary round game. In other hockey news, the Montreal Canadiens got some goaltending by trading forward Zach Kassian to Edmonton for Ben Striven. And the Buffalo Sabres confirmed forward Evander Kane is the center of a sex offense investigation after an incident at a Buffalo hotel yesterday morning. Kane denies it and plans to clear his name. The new Star Wars movie is rebuilding its empire in the theaters.
Nothing will stand in our way.
The Force Awakens has reached the $1 billion mark at the box office in just 12 days on the big screen. Jurassic World took 13 days. Plus, Episode 7 has not even opened up yet in China, which is the second biggest box office in the world. A woman in Florida has been arrested after turning Walmart into a personalized buffet, if you will. And boy, was it a feast. Workers noticed the 25-year-old acting suspiciously, riding a motorized shopping cart through the store, drinking 2 bottles of wine, eating sushi, cinnamon rolls, and rotisserie chicken with the sauce. Police found a syringe in her purse. She admitted she shot up meth earlier. So why'd she take all the food? She was hungry and didn't want to take the snacks outside. Amazon.com's New Year's resolution should be to find a place to put all of its money. It shipped a record number of items worldwide for the holidays, but won't say exactly how many. Procrastinators helped a lot. Christmas Eve was the biggest day ever for deliveries using the company's new Quick Delivery Prime Now service. CJME Market Watch.
Stay connected to the latest news at CJME.com. For Windsor Plywood, experts in custom fit doors.
The TSX closed for the holiday. The Dow Jones is down 24 points. The Nasdaq down 8. Our dollar down 0.4 cents to 71.93 cents U.S. Looking at commodities, oil down $1.38 to $36.72 U.S. Gold down $7.60 U.S. an ounce. And in Saskatchewan, Cameco is up 4 cents per share. CJME weather for Memories Dining and Bar. Book your Christmas or New Year's party now. 7 private rooms, mouth-watering menus, outstanding service. Experience Memories Dining and Bar. Here's CJME weather specialist John Wilson. Pretty easy weather for the end of the year and the beginning of the new year for your New Year's Eve celebrations. It looks clear and dry and not all that awfully cold either. Now tonight we have a continuation of this high cloud with a chance of a light flurry in it, very light, and minus 15 below, and a chance of a couple of light flurries tomorrow as well. Still pretty cloudy but thin and nondescript, minus 14. Then sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, minus 12 and minus 8. I'm John Wilson from the CJME Weather Center. In Moose Jaw, cloudy and minus 9. Regina, cloudy and east wind at 8 and it's minus 10. CJME News Time 4:06. I'm Andrew Shepard. Our next news is at 4:30 or get news anytime at CJME.com.
Whether you bleed green or are just green with envy, this is the spot for fans. This is the Green Zone Instant Replay on News Talk 980 CJME, home of the fans. Hello, Saskatchewan. I am Scott Vickers, and welcome to the Green Zone Instant Replay year-end show, the best of the Green Zone from 2015. I am here to bring you the year that was the Green Zone. More specifically, the year that was the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. It's been a long year. Started off rocky and rough with a lot of hope and optimism. And then it kind of took a couple detours, and it's been a long year for Rider Nation, but it's ending off pretty well. Very optimistic. A lot of Rider Nation are looking forward to the future, but the journey to get there, again, in 2015 was just that. It was a journey. It was an adventure full of drama, dramatics. The year started off with a lot of hope and optimism as the Riders had signed Ricky Foley to, I believe it was a 4-year contract extension. And then early January, the announcement comes down that the Saskatchewan Rough Riders had traded Ricky Foley to Toronto Argonauts for Shea Emery. Blew everybody's mind in Rider Nation. Ricky Foley was loved by the community. He loved the team. He loved the community as well. And he was traded back to Toronto. Ricky Foley was on the show that week as he was traded, talking with Jamie and the guys about having to leave the Saskatchewan Rough Riders and head back to the Toronto Argonauts. This is Ricky Foley on the year-end Green Zone Instant Replay.
The big trade everybody's talking about is happens Saturday morning, well, Friday night, but really the news broke on Saturday. Ricky Foley traded to the Toronto Argonauts for linebacker Shea Emery. Got a lot of people saying, not really questions, but just saying, we'll miss you, thanks for all the contributions. I feel like we should play like Sarah McLachlan, I'll remember you or something.
I just set up his chair, Ricky. I just set up your chair in the studio. You're just here.
I know, man. I know.
What you DM me, thanks for getting back to me on Saturday, just heartbroken over the news originally. What was that phone call like? Who made it? Who called it? What went down Saturday morning?
Yeah, I saw my phone was blowing up, and it was most of them were from BT, and he's the one who called me, and utterly shocked. I just resigned, just committed to being there again, and started setting up charities and started setting up speaking engagements and stuff. It's just been wavering last week, so. But man, that's the business, and I'm glad it was BT on the other end because me and him have a really good relationship, and I was he's always been honest and straight up with me, and I could tell it hurt him to do the trade, but I think it's a move that I see it. I see the sentiment after the emotion gets taken away, and after I kind of get over it a little bit. I see it.